Hey, Houston. It's the Gary Wade Show. I know you're used to hearing us come in with a little different name, but from this point forward, we are the Gary Wade Show. I'm Robin Owens, and this is Amazing 102.5, your do good through good station. I'm going to turn it over to our founder and host, Gary Wade. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning. Good morning. Look, I gotta get used to that because that don't sound.
Well,
You know.
we'll keep playing with it until we get the right
Okay,
thing. For
all right,
right
that
now,
sounds
it's the
good.
Gary Wade Show.
Okay. Well, if you guys with it, I'm with it. What's going on, co-host Adam?
Oh, I'm good. I made it. I wasn't here last week, but now I'm here. So
Well, that's a good thing, guys. You know, on this show, we always talk business, politics, and money. And we have an in-studio guest today, good friend of mine,
yeah.
a guy who I admire, I respect, and a lot of you guys may know him by name, but I know him as a friend. And let me introduce to you Mr. Sharon Mayberry, CEO of Mayberry Homes. What's up, Sharon?
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey.
Happy to be here on
Man.
the Gary Wade Show.
Now you made it sound good. You made it sound good. You made it sound good. So listen, guys. I wanna I wanna jump right into something that happened this week. I don't know if you guys got the email or not, and Mr. Mayberry, you may have gotten it, but
Talk
it was
to me.
from Metro. Metro sent out this email, Robin, Adam, basically saying that on, I believe it was last Wednesday, that they were doing a Zoom meeting to talk about the triennial budget for Metro.
Triennial.
Triennial, which is 3 years of money that they are spending at Metro. Okay? And I went through the presentation, and they did all the presentation the usual, you know, what we do and all this good stuff, talking about the NACE codes, Robin, and how much money they spend in this area, how much money they spend in that area, and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And I'm listening, and I'm listening, and I'm listening. I'm just waiting for them to open up for questioning.
Well, I like the fact that you said they were talking about the NACE code.
Right.
A lot of folks don't know
They
what
don't
that
have
means.
a clue what that is. But anyway,
But go
Sharon,
ahead, I'm
let me
listening.
finish.
Yeah.
Anyway, I jumped in and I asked the question. Well, the budget, you know, we always talk about budget here. The budget for Metro, guys, for the next 3 years is 2.2 plus billion.
Did you say billion with a B?
With a B.
Billion with the B.
for Harris County, right?
For Metro.
For Metro.
Metro.
Okay.
That's the transportation. In any event, guys, they broke down all the numbers for all the where they're gonna spend it at and what they're gonna spend it on. They even did a slide with all the places they're gonna do, build a new this and a new that. And so I asked the question. I said, can you tell me who monitors the prime contractors for this $2.2 billion that you are spending? And what is the criteria for those who these prime contractors use to see if they perform in a commercially useful function? Because they was throwing out 49 CFR right and left. And I was like, I'm loving it.
Who's governing?
Who's governing the money? Long story short, they tap danced around and told me all kind of this, all kind of that. But they never gave me the answer
Sure.
as to who at Metro is monitoring or overseeing how DBEs are getting involved. So they kind of got tired of me. I could tell he was kind of tired of me. So one of the hosts said, well, Mr. Wade, can we talk offline? I'm
That's
like,
usually
okay,
the go-to.
Yeah.
You know
I said,
what?
okay,
Answer
well, that's
your
fine. I
questions,
don't want to put y'all on the spot too much, but I already got them on the spot. And here's the crazy part. There was 150 people on this Zoom call. 150. And none of them understood even the question.
Sure. And I must admit, Gary, I missed that myself. I would have loved to have been a part of that call.
Well, again, that information is made public. Now, I know because I'm in this lane that Metro basically has to put out this information to the free world.
Sure.
Because that is a part of the requirement to get this 2.2 billion.
Well, and
They have to notify. They have to make public notification.
Right, they have to make public notification. So they Robin, they like to make it seem like they are kind of doing us a favor.
Well, and I don't know that Metro falls in that as squarely as some of the other organizations that we've talked about in the past.
Right.
I feel like Metro does, of all of the entities, probably a better job
I agree.
of being proactive,
I agree.
of really trying to get outreach, of making MWBE certification for Metro an easier process than some other entities. So, but I think it's fair to say that if anybody doesn't have an effective outreach program, it's easy to miss opportunities. And I wish that that institutions like Metro, like the city, like TxDOT, invested more in outreach, particularly using whether it's firms like mine or others to really connect with people in the community to make sure that those opportunities get out there. But they got to pay for it, and I wish that was something they would value more.
So Gary, I see why Robin is labeled.
Absolutely.
You called her as beautiful and brilliant.
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Something
yeah.
just common sense, Robin. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Robin, listen, Robin, you spot on, but here is the problem. Okay? Check it out. So, believe it or not, one of my ex-students from Florida was on the call. So his question was, what if the prime contractor subs out the work to another contractor who uses a bogus DBE to meet their goal? What happens?
If nobody's governing.
It's nobody's governing. So basically what they end up saying was some other people do slip through the cracks. And that is what I was trying to get them to understand.
And that's all the admission that people who are intending to subvert the program need to hear. Because what the quiet part of that wasn't said out loud was, we're not enforcing sanctions or consequences for non-compliance.
And I asked that question. What is the consequence for those few that slip through the crack? And they kept saying stuff like, well,
they don't have the infrastructure.
I know they don't.
They don't choose to invest in the infrastructure
so Robin, you
for
took
compliance
the word,
the same way they don't choose to invest in the infrastructure for outreach.
You took the words out of my mouth,
right.
because here's what I said. Because one of the hosts said to me, well, Mr. Wade, we don't have the staff to monitor that. And I turn around and say, let me make sure I'm hearing you right. You're telling me that you got $2.2 billion to spend over 3 years, and you can't muster up enough money out of that $2.2 billion or from somewhere to put 10 to 12 people in place to monitor it?
To make sure that it's being spent
To make sure
correctly.
it's been spent right.
Hey, tell them if they change their mind, I got a firm for them.
Well,
Right.
you know, Robin, again, I always advocate on your behalf because I know what you do. And you hit the nail on the head. These agencies, for whatever reason, don't see a need to bring in firms like yours.
Well, and I will say it's probably because the law does not stipulate that you will be penalized if anybody reports on you not utilizing this money correctly, number one, or the law does not require compliance with penalty.
Well, so, and I think you're spot on there again, as Gary has mentioned. All it is a goal, right? In an attempt to reach that goal.
Well,
You know,
And as long as you put forth that good faith effort.
that should look different, though.
Right.
to that point.
So again, let me push back with y'all a little bit, because in the rule,
Yes.
under 49 CFR Part 26, there should be sanctions, and the sanctions are there. And the sanctions are remove the prime from the program for X amount of years or whatever. Now, if you want to see how it's done, go look in places like New York, up and down the East Coast,
Where they're not playing.
where they're not playing games. Again, we're in one of those states where you already know.
Low tax, low service.
Low service, low tax. One party want to dictate what the other party is doing, and usually that party is the Republican Party, because they ain't for nothing that's
Sure.
that benefits minorities.
So I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
So on that call, you said it was 200 individuals, right? So
150.
150 out of 150 individuals, how many people of color was on this call?
Well, I didn't see all the faces, but there were a mix of everything.
Okay.
And I did stroll down and look at the names. But Adam, I didn't want to go into this part, but let me go into this part. I had a couple of people who popped up and wanted to rebut my situation about me complaining about there's no oversight. And those couple people who came up had the audacity to say, well, they monitor my contract. Well, hell, you got a contract.
Right.
What about the other 4,999 people in the TUCP directory that don't have a contract?
So let me ask you this:
That are certified.
That are certified, exactly.
And you know that's a good
in the
point.
directory,
Yeah.
exactly. What about them? I know 1 or 2 people are.
We are actually
Exactly,
certified.
exactly, and that's why we got Mr. Mayberry on, because we're gonna go to a break, but right now, I wanted to bring in my friend Sharon, because Sharon is in this lane.
Yeah.
He understands what's going on in the city and around the country when it comes down to MWDBEs getting involved in public funds. So right now, we're gonna go to a break. You're listening to the Gary Wade Show. I'm Gary Wade, co-hosted by the beautiful
Robin
and brilliant
Owens.
Robin Owens,
Adam
and
Nelson.
my main man Adam Nelson.
Adam Nelson.
We'll be right back.